All right, and we're back for another edition of Gears on the Piers. This one is about paint to sample. Now, I'm willing to bet that if you were to poll the average automotive enthusiast about their earliest memory of a car, it would involve color of some point, because realistically, color is kind of how we digest some of these designs and how we engage with some of them. And truthfully, color is probably how so many kids grew up with, red car, red truck, whatever it might have been. So it really is a fundamental way that we engage with these designs. And there are definitely few brands that have made as much of a stink about color as Porsche has. Even in the earliest years of 911s, the colors were as fun in some ways as the cars were to drive. And so the origins of Porsche and color, they go right back to the beginning. Paint to sample, however, isn't necessarily something that was started until the 70s with the 930 Turbo. Owners with additional funds who were already paying those funds to customizers and aftermarket tuners, etc., to make their cars more unique and more ownable to themselves. They simply could now select a unique color from Porsche and have Porsche paint it to that. Now, not to be confused with Porsche's Sonderwunsch program, which was more about those unique one-off specific vehicles, but really just a unique collection of colors throughout history. And frankly, I don't think they have yet to find a color that doesn't look good on a 911. So today we're going to be bringing in some of the most unique and interesting shades of Porsche paint to sample. And we're going to get started with some of the cars coming through. I think our first one here is a 935. Sorry, not a 935, is a Dakar. So we'll have them pull up now. So this one is an interesting one to start the paint to sample program with. This program is about paint to sample and rare shades of Porsche. This is not a paint to sample color, but is a unique shade that was only really offered on the Dakar. So we can just have you turn the car off, if you don't mind. Awesome. All right. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad
So
to be here.
if you could just give us an intro and tell us about the car and how long you've had it for.
So my name is Alan. This is Anna, my supporter for all my crazy stuff, my crazy ideas. We got the car 6 weeks ago.
You've only had it 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I love
we
that.
We only drove 30 miles for this. It's a joke, but we have been not around a lot, so
Sure. The
car was just parked for a while basically, but it's
Awesome. So tell me about the color though, and why you chose this color.
So last June, a year ago about, we went to Zuffhausen, to the factory where they built the 911. And we were cruising around and just on the side street, and we found a parking lot, a factory parking lot, where there was 30 Dakars and 3, maybe 6 GT3 RSs just standing there.
It's not a bad thing to stumble across.
And this is where it's just all happened, basically. I was like, oh my God, I need to have a Dakar. And then this color just stuck with me since then, basically. I
Okay.
just wanted that color, basically. To
That's
be
awesome.
my Dakar.
Now, have you always liked sort of, interesting colors, or do you tend to get a, black and white car? Like, what is color for cars with
no,
you?
it needs to be a color which is exciting, which, makes me like want to look at this car nonstop. And it's definitely not black.
Yeah.
It's not white, basically. It's a color also where I don't want to get tired of.
Sure.
After a short period of time.
Yeah.
There's some colors where you just cannot look at the color after.
Yeah.
And I had those colors too. So this color, I felt like this is like so in between many colors, grays, blues, greens. It's just like a very
Well, and
neutral
this particular shade would look good with a nice, mud paint job by Mother Nature. Are you
Yeah,
are you gonna use it as sort of
Dirt.
intended and
Well,
go on the dirt?
Yeah, well, we go to Vermont a lot, so Vermont right now is dry. We're waiting more for the mud season.
Yeah.
And the dirt roads, and yeah, don't be surprised if that car is gonna be dirty.
Okay, well, you let me know, because I know the guys up at the Land Rover Driving Experience, and I'll get a Range Rover Sport SVR, and then we can do a little bit of a race up there. Does that work?
by all means.
Yeah,
Just
that's
let
awesome.
me know.
So we're asking a bunch of different interesting questions today. One of the ones that we wanted to ask was, if you had to pick a celebrity, a dead celebrity, non-automotive, to drive across country with, you're going to be with them, but
With
they're
them?
doing the driving.
I know who.
Who would you pick?
Elvis.
You pick Elvis?
Yeah.
Oh, why Elvis?
I don't know. He's just like a cool dude, and he's that, and I think it would be just so much fun.
Okay, I dig it. I dig it. And then the one question, we're not going to be revealing this to everybody who's tuning in just yet, but we're going to be asking a question to everybody who's driving through here. We'll reveal the question at the end of it. It's more meant to be a little bit of a fun to see if anybody can actually guess what the question is. So, that is...
Yeah, I think we would, under normal circumstances, it would be Feeling Good by Nina Simone.
Okay.
And if we were on the rough roads, maybe Metallica's Enter Sandman.
Oh, wow. Great choices. Not necessarily what I might have expected in an answer for that, but I like it. All right, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping and chatting with us for a bit. And
Totally.
yeah, enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much for doing this, organizing.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. That's the shade green metallic going through, and this is a fun way to do it because look, we're not at Pebble Beach and we're not in Car Week right now, so it is it's nice to be able to have our own sort of concours de car club, I guess in some ways, and so we're just gonna wait for the next interesting shade to roll through. Now, this is one that I think is becoming more and more popular, more and more. Acceptable is the wrong word, but I think more and more sought after because it's a very interesting shade. So, awesome. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
So, who are you and what is your car?
My name is Rob. On Instagram, 997Rob.
Okay.
My car is a 2016 Ultraviolet Purple GT3 RS.
Awesome. And what made you choose this color? Because I think the purples are awesome, and I feel like the purples are certainly having like a little bit of a moment right now.
Yeah.
But what made you choose this?
Yeah. So in 2016, this Ultraviolet Purple was actually the launch color in 2016. Mm-hmm. Back then I was on the configurator, like as many of us are every day, kind of building a car, and this was actually the car in 2016 that I built.
Wait, like you built this color when you were looking at the car?
This exact car, this exact spec, like down to the the Sport Chrono and the color of the gauges and everything, right?
But you didn't buy it new.
I didn't buy it because at that point I wasn't in a position to do so. But
sure.
Come years later, I found the car, and I was luckily enough in a position to purchase it.
Did you kind of like search high and low for it, or was it one where just like it was right time, right place?
It's funny. I think the universe has a way of working things out, and my wife always says when I'm searching for something, it always comes up. I kind of speak things into existence.
Sure.
And that definitely happened with this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you have to have some kind of like inauguration with it. Have you taken it on any serious, trips, road trips, events?
Yeah, so I actually bought the car down in Florida, and I drove it back by myself.
That's awesome.
So like a day and a half journey.
I feel like that's the way you should experience a new car like this.
Yeah.
Be able to have plenty of open mile highways to be able to put your foot down. There's some great drives through Shenandoah National Forest as you're coming up through Virginia and everything like that. So that's
exactly.
That's a killer drive. That's awesome. What about color in car designs is interesting to you? Like, how do you view the role of like color on cars? And do you only have fun and interesting colors, or do you have a couple of more standard?
Yeah, so I think the color plays a lot into the car. One of my favorite colors of all time is Guards Red, because it's the quintessential 911, the poster that we all had on our
Which
wall.
is now a paint to sample color. It's no longer a stock color, but paint to sample.
Right, exactly. So, if I were to do paint to sample today, I would probably pick Guards Red because that's just, it's like a heritage color.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's awesome. So we're asking a couple of random but interesting questions to get to know some of the people who are coming through here. One of them is if you had to pick a dead celebrity, non-automotive, to drive across country in your car and they do the driving, who would you pick?
Probably Chris Farley.
Oh, Chris Farley. Great answer.
Because, I feel like he would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
telling jokes and keeping it lighthearted the entire way.
Well, and you get the benefit of being able to basically reenact Tommy Boy, which,
Right.
you know, like who
Right.
wouldn't want that?
Exactly.
And now, if you don't have the scene where you start singing and crying in the
Right.
car, then you didn't win.
As long as he doesn't fill up the gas.
Totally fair. Now, the next question, we're not actually showing the audience what the question is, so I'm going to give it to you on a piece of paper, and then you can give me what your answer is.
Oh, that's a good one. I would say. I mean, the obvious choice would be like a Jimi Hendrix song, but I think for me,
Jimi Hendrix is a good soundtrack for a car like this.
very, very solid. But I'm more of a classic hip hop
Okay.
guy, like mid '90s. That's my genre.
All right.
So, I would say Wu-Tang, probably Triumph.
Yes. Great track. Awesome selection. And then last question for you. We're doing a game. It's called Daily Weekend Crush. We're going to show you three colors of paint sample cars.
Yep.
You have to pick one to daily drive, one to drive over the course of one weekend, and then one which you are going to be crushing. So those are the colors right there. We got Bahama Yellow, Cassis Red, and Prussian Blue.
Oh man. Well, it's funny because I was actually looking at a G body in Cassis Red, so that would definitely be number one.
Okay.
I think
So that's your daily.
the weekend would be the Prussian Blue, and unfortunately,
Crushing Bahama
yeah,
Yellow. Travesty.
yeah.
Travesty.
But actually the first two, the red and the blue, are two of my favorite colors in the G body.
Huh. Well, I didn't know that when I planned it, but
Okay.
you know, we'll say it was all planned. Awesome. Well, thank you for stopping through and
thank you.
and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks.
All right, continuing on with our process here, we're going to bring in the next unique shade, which is definitely. I mean, there's nothing that really sounds better than that, but we're going to bring in the next shade. It's definitely in the category of individuals or shades that I think everybody loves. There is no shortage of enthusiasm for green cars in the automotive community, but with so many interesting and unique shades available in the Porsche family, it's kind of actually hard to pick a great green within all that. So can I maybe have you shut the car off just so we can hear everything we're going to go through? So this is gorgeous, I have to say, and it's changed since I saw it outside, and then you see it inside here with the light and the fall off. So tell us who you are and what color this is.
My name is Hansel. The name of the color is Forest Green.
Awesome. Yeah, and what made you choose this shade? So the car's new, right?
So it's a 22
Okay.
GT3. I was in the market for a new Turbo S. So there was two colors I wanted. Was either a green or a cream white.
Okay.
So this one came up first.
So you decided to change altogether from a turbo to a GT3.
I just had to. I'm like, I don't know what it was. Something called me out for this. I'm like, I got to get it.
I love that. Okay, so how long have you had it for?
2 weeks now.
Only 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, we appreciate you bringing it out in the rain, 2 weeks old, etc. But now that I think about it, there hasn't really been that great of weather for the last 2 weeks, so you probably had a hard go at owning this.
I haven't even gone past 80.
All right. Well, hopefully there will be some good weather soon where you can, fully realize the potential of this. Obviously, within all legal regulations, etc. But talk to me about color in general. Like, what is color for you on cars, and how do you feel that color impacts the design of a car?
I feel like it does. So when I originally got this car, the rims were silver. I did not like the way it looked, and I feel like being that I changed the color on them, it brought the color out a lot more. And I'm more of like, I like cars in a neutral color. I feel like they look a lot better, but like with the black accents and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. No, it's interesting. I didn't quite notice the wheels until you said it, but now that you're saying it, I mean, it's so subtle of a change from the silver, but they really do. They look awesome. It's a brilliant overall package. So, what have you done in it? Do you have any interesting plans? You going?
So I think I'm gonna do pipes on it, some Dundon pipes. I'm not exactly sure which ones yet.
Okay.
So it's in the process.
You always got to make it yours,
Yeah.
And the best part about it is that's kind of how the paint to sample program originally got started. In the 70s with the 930 turbo, and and effectively trying to give that extra level of customization that would allow people to feel like they had something that was their own.
Something a little different.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're asking a couple of questions to get to know the people who are in the show and whatnot. One of the questions is, if you had to pick a dead celebrity to drive across country in your car, and they're doing the driving, who do you pick?
Red Fox.
Who?
Red Fox. He's a comedian.
Okay.
Sanford is son.
So that's a good answer. It's not somebody that I know, but I like the answer of picking somebody in comedy because that'll make for an entertaining drive.
It'll make it very entertaining. Being that he's an older man, I think it'll do a lot in a fast car.
Okay, I dig that. One of the questions, we're not showing the audience what the question actually is, so I'm going to give it to you on this piece of paper, and then you just let me know what your answer is.
Nas, it ain't hard to tell.
Okay, cool. I like the answer. That's definitely a unique one. All right, and then the last piece that we're going to ask is we're playing a game called Daily Weekend Crush. Here are 3 colors. You get to pick one to daily, one to weekend, and one to crush.
So the Pressure Blue be my daily.
Okay.
What is it? Cassis Red.
Yep.
Cassis Red will be my weekend, and the Bahama Yellow be the crush.
That's 2 for crushing the Bahamas. Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you stopping, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Cool. Do you want to do me a favor? Grab the next person. So we're just waiting for our next show person to arrive. This is, again, another unique one. I don't feel like we're seeing anything that isn't unique, but it's interesting how each time you see some of these new colors that you haven't seen before, how much they stand out. So this one is actually the Pantone Blue, and an absolutely beautiful shade, particularly on the 718 Spider, a car which I think is just absolutely a bit of perfection. So. Thank you for bringing it in. If I could have you stop the car for a second, that'd be great. Just give us your quick intro, who you are, and what's the color.
I'm Ryan. This is a 981 Boxer Spider, 2016, and it's a Pantone Blue.
Okay, what made you choose the color?
I think the color chose me.
Okay, yeah, I like that answer, right? So you saw it and you had to have it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I had a white one before.
Okay.
And I sold it and regretted it, so when this one came up, I had to buy it.
That's fair, that happens.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel like color impacts the design of a car when you see it?
Oh, I think it's everything to the car. It either enhances or it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think this one shows off the curves nicely. Yep.
No, it is an absolutely beautiful shade. Now we're asking a couple of questions to get to know some of the individuals here. One of the questions is, if you had to drive across country with a dead celebrity and non-automotive, they're going to do the driving. Who do you pick?
The not automotive part is making it difficult. You know, I had Senna in my head, but if it's non-automotive, I would probably go with I don't know. I think it'd be fun to drive with Michael Jackson.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then one we're not showing the audience what that question is, but go ahead and take a look and then give me your answer to that one.
Sensational by Chris Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Unique answer. Well, thank you for stopping and chatting with us, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
All right. So that was Pantone Blue, which, again, I think is just absolutely awesome and not a color that I've seen before. So now we have our next one coming in. Truthfully, I don't know what color this one is. Let's see if we can see through here. How's it going?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for stopping. If I can have you stop the car just so we can make sure we hear everything from you.
Sure.
So give us a quick intro. Who are you and what is this awesome color?
Oh, my name is Mike. This is a 997.2 2010 GT3 aqua blue.
Awesome.
Pretty rare color. I'm not sure if it's actually PTS, but it's a pretty rare color.
Yeah, truthfully,
maybe 15 made something like
wow.
that. So
That's incredible. No, I haven't actually seen this shade before, and it's beautiful with the metallic. It just shoots off the light. Stunning.
oh, thank you.
How long have you had it for?
It's going to be 4 years in November.
Awesome. So decent bit of ownership. You done anything interesting with it? Taken it anywhere interesting?
Actually, I have. So the Spider that was in front of us,
Okay.
my friend Ryan, we live near each other. We're in a car club together, 911 Motor Club. Go on drives and all types of stuff. We actually went to Rensport. Actually, I'm wearing the Rensport shirt
nice.
today.
Yeah, awesome.
So we actually shipped our cars from New Jersey to LA, and then drove from LA to Monterey, the squiggly way, right,
Yep.
up the canyons,
Yep.
and then we were there for Rensport for, I think it was like 4 days.
That's awesome.
It was unbelievable.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So we're asking a couple questions to get to know everybody who's coming in today. If you had to pick a dead celebrity, non-automotive, to drive across country with, and they're going to do the driving, who do you pick?
Ooh, I actually misunderstood the question before. I was picking a living celebrity, but dead celebrity, it would have to be probably Bob Barker.
Okay.
Bob Barker, when his entire life, what was he, like 90 when he died?
Oh, yeah.
No one ever said one bad thing about the guy. In
That's
this
fair.
day and age,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
That's pretty remarkable.
I would love to have a conversation. Hopefully he's not as boring as you think he would be.
Fair.
Or maybe he just hit his dirt better, you know?
Okay, that's an interesting one. Not one we've gotten yet. And then the second question, we're not showing the audience, but you can take a look. It's on there, and then give us your answer.
Do you want me to read the question or not?
No, don't read the question.
Okay. So just say the answer?
Yep.
Okay. It would be Maneater.
Okay.
Because this car kind of has like a dual personality.
Oh, we're not giving away the full answers yet.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's
Okay.
just the song.
So yes, Maneater.
Maneater. Love
We
it.
could explain later.
That's awesome. All right, cool. Well, thank you for stopping, and yeah, enjoy the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we've got our next one who's just going to be pulling up now. Oh, this is one of CCC's employees. How are you? How are you, Chris?
George.
Nice to meet you, George. Thank you for bringing this out. This is really awesome.
Julius said, hey, I need a red car. Gotta take the red car.
Okay, is this guards red?
Guard red.
Awesome. I love it.
Guard red 08, 53,000. I would have less, but I use this as my day. It's a great day-to-day car.
Yeah? Have you had it for a long time?
I'm the original owner, so it's 16 years.
That's amazing. And done a lot of stuff with it?
No. The less you do, the better it works. I've
Well,
seen guys mess with the car and all of a sudden, it gets wonky along the way.
Yep.
You start playing with it. Yeah.
all right, interesting. And if you had to pick a dead celebrity, non-automotive, to drive across country with, and they're doing all the driving in your car, who do you pick?
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman. He's kind of in the automotive camp, but we'll let that one slide. And then that question,
Paul is the man.
that question we're not showing the audience, but if you could take a look and not read the question aloud, but give us your answer.
The theme song to Gran Turismo.
Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, cool. Well, thank you for stopping. Enjoy the show, and
Thank you, Chris.
appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll enjoy.
All right. So Guards Red, yeah, and that wasn't a paint to sample color, but now is part of the paint to sample library, which I think is an interesting way to do things. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. So we're just stopping some of the individuals who are coming in. For those that have the paint to sample color, asking them about the color of their car, the spec, why they chose it, etc. So tell us who you are and tell us about your car.
What's up? My name's John. This is my first 911.
Nice.
I bought it off a guy in Nashville who chose Polar Silver Metallic as a paint to sample color. I think it's
Awesome.
the only 9972 in that color.
Really?
Yep, it's a one of one. One of one, pretty basic silver, but like I do like the blue tint a lot.
I think people who know and see it will know that it is unique and different, and I think it's almost nicer knowing you have the sleeper, right?
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
It doesn't scream I'm unique, but it just says it quietly.
Totally, and it really it changes with the color of the sky really nicely. Like on a big blue sky day, it's
Sure.
like it's got that nice light blue tint.
Did you go out searching for this, or did you just happen to like find it and knew it was the one?
Dude, I've never owned a 911. I was living in Costa Rica, and I kept dreaming about them. And then I stumbled upon Ryan Friedman's website.
Yep.
And I don't know how to drive a stick yet. And
Sure.
so, like, there's very few non-stick 911s on that site. And basically, like, I bought what was on the site, and that was this car.
That's amazing. Now, if you had to pick a dead celebrity, non-automotive related, to drive across the country with in your car, and they're going to do the driving, who do you pick?
Ooh, wow, what a question.
First one that pops in.
Kurt Cobain.
Awesome. Okay, unique answer. And then second question, we're not showing the audience what this question is. We could just read it, not read it out loud, but give us your answer. That would be great. It doesn't have to be literal.
Okay, I would just say, like, I listen to Kid A by Radiohead in this car all the time, beginning to end. It's like, it's a Metallica song, it's a Metallica album, it's a Metallica song. I think that's
Nice.
the one. Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. Cool. Well, thank you for bringing it out. Enjoy the show. All right. That's the first one that I've actually seen in Polar Silver, and I think to the point that I was making about, you know, when it's a color that is in some ways generic like a silver, but at the same time is a unique shade and a unique paint to sample, it's pretty impressive how it just, again, flies under the radar. But I think it was a beautiful shade. So we've got our next person coming through here, and this is a pretty striking shade. Not one that I have seen a lot on new cars. I shot a couple of cars at an event last year that had this sort of mint green shade to it that were wicked impressive. And mint green is, I guess I would say, probably not among the more popular shades of green from the perspective of Brewster or British Racing Green or Oak Grune, but it's certainly a really fun shade of green, and definitely is more unique. So, hi there. Tell us your name and what color we're looking at.
My name is Grace, and this is a jade green paint to sample 911 GT3.
Awesome. Yeah, it's beautiful. What made you pick this color?
I had a ruby star before this, which is another paint to sample color, and I wanted something different. So this was on the other end of the spectrum, from pink or fuchsia to green, and I think Porsche does a really good job with greens and blues, so I figured I'd give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, I love this because it's a green and it's not your traditional like British Racing or Oak Grune or something like that, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, to me, this is the color that is as fun as the car probably is to drive.
100%. It needs to pop, it needs to be bright, and it gets a lot of attention, but it's a lot of fun.
Now, how do you think color and design go hand in hand? Like, what about what impact do you think color has on the design of a car and the impact of a car when you see it?
I think it has a huge impact on a car. It goes absolutely hand in hand, in my opinion, and I think it brings out the character of the car. I think it says a lot about the owner, the personality of the owner, and bright colors. I feel like you're not afraid of kind of standing out a little bit, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, and I think in some ways, you know, like the darker colors can hide some of the shape. The lighter colors can really highlight some of the shape.
Yep.
And you know, even the difference between images and in person and how the car's represented, I mean, it changes from piece to piece. So that's awesome. One of the questions we're asking all of the people who drive through is, if you had to pick a dead celebrity, non-automotive, to drive across country with, and they're going to do the driving in your car, who do you pick?
A dead celebrity, non-automotive. I'm going to go with, I'll say Prince.
Okay. Interesting answer. Not one. Everybody's had a completely different answer, and they've all been
non-automotive.
No, I know that's the curveball, and that's supposed to make fun. And then the second question, we're not showing the audience what this question is yet, but
Okay.
go ahead and take a look, and then give us your answer. But don't read the question.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I know the name of a song, but
It doesn't have to be a literal. It can be a figurative, or it can be more relative to you.
there's a song called Shotgun by George Urza.
Okay.
I really like it. It's got like a very summer vibe to it.
Nice.
A little poppy. He's
Okay.
a British artist. I think I would go with that.
All right. I dig that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for bringing the car out, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So, yeah. So that's mint green, and again, I think the mint green is absolutely awesome. And yes, agree, Zach Mosley, gold wheels on everything. It's never a bad choice. So next up, we have something that's going to need to give itself a little bit of a wider berth, because it is an incredible wide body in and of itself. So thank you for bringing this out. This
welcome.
is killer. I love the 996. Controversial as it may be within the Porsche community, I think the 996 has come into its own in a way that, you know, the 993 was experiencing probably 3 or 4 years ago. I think the 996 is in that camp now. So tell us who you are and tell us about your car.
Yeah, so my name's Eric Penelo. The car is a 996. It's actually a Millennium Edition.
Okay.
So in 2000, they made 911 Millennium Editions, and this is number 515. And people think I'm crazy cutting into one, but I think to your point, you know, the 996s are one of those 993 models where people thought it was crazy to cut into those and look at Nakai and look at where it is now. So, yeah.
That's
Excited
awesome.
to bring it.
So you did decide to cut into it. What did you do to the car?
Yeah, 100%. I've always just been a fan of wide body cars. So, I mean, we just basically cut corners. There's a company in Spain that develops the wide body kit called Miles Auto Works. And yeah, just suspension wheels, some exhaust work. AMS did the work for the body, and yeah, that's what you see here. I still have some interior work to do, but it's a slow progress.
Awesome. Well, it looks killer, and I don't even want to guess how deep dish those wheels in the back are, because I literally almost can't even see the rim, and I'm sitting next to it.
Yeah, it's a negative 70 offset. It's a 13.5-inch wheel.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty nuts.
That's killer. All right, so 2 questions before you go.
Yeah.
The first is, if you had to pick a dead celebrity, non-automotive, to drive across country in your car, and they're going to do all of the driving, who do you pick?
A dead celebrity.
First one that jumps in.
Who's the old Joker? What's his name again? Old Joker.
Oh, you're talking about the guy from The Shining, Jack Nicholson?
No.
Talking
Jack
about?
Nicholson.
Jim Carrey.
No. The most recent Joker that passed
Oh,
away.
Joaquin Phoenix?
Not Joaquin.
No.
Before Joaquin.
Ooh. I don't know who's in between
come
that.
on, in Dark Knight. Not Dark Knight, but
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just someone I would love to chop it up with and drive across country with. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, and then this question we're not showing the audience, but you have a read. Let us know what your answer is.
Wow. If I had to pick a song.
Don't read the question out loud.
Okay. Flashing Lights.
Okay, Kanye.
No. Flashing Lights is by Steve Angelo.
Oh, that Flashing Lights, because there is a Flashing
There
Lights
is.
Kanye.
Yeah, Flashing Lights by Steve Angelo.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I like that. Awesome. Well, thank you for bringing the car out, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Appreciate that. Thanks, man.
All right. Yeah, really had to move that microphone out of the way because literally you probably can't tell through the cameras, but that is as wide as it possibly gets. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good, thank you. So, give us a bit of an intro. Who are you, and what is the color we're looking at?
I'm Sachin. I'm a member of the club. This is a 992.
Okay.
Like 2020 in Gentian blue.
Gentian blue. Okay. Really interesting. What made you choose this color?
I feel like everyone gets a silver, a black, or a white car.
Sure.
So I want something in color, and then I didn't want just classic navy blue. So
That's fair.
this is fun. Has a mix of purple, proper blues, and looks great in all colors.
Yeah,
all
no,
whites.
it's a beautiful shade. What role do you think color plays on the impact of a design of a specific car for you?
It's a great question. I think, depending on the car's shape, it can either really help the car or make it a lot worse, right? And you can see it's like ugliest feature. So, the latest like 7 Series, you want a super dark car, hide some of the like maybe different.
We didn't say it. We didn't say it, but yes.
But like, it can help you bring out your personality.
Yeah.
Certainly, you're gonna see a ton of different cars here that
Yeah.
bring that out of their owner.
Totally agree, and I mean, seeing some of the curvature, et cetera, it's all contingent, like you said, on the color. So, we're asking a couple of questions. One is, if you had to pick a dead celebrity, non-automotive, to drive across country with in your car, they're doing the driving. Who do you pick? First one that comes to mind.
Dead celebrity.
Dead celebrity.
I don't know who's dead these days.
Well, somebody who has passed.
Who's that comedian? Bob Saget. You gotta go with Bob Saget.
Great answer. Great answer. The second question we're not showing the audience, but so don't read it out loud, but give us your answer once you have a look. first thing that comes to mind? We've had a couple of interesting ones on this one.
Hard to pick.
Yeah?
Hard to pick. I don't know.
It doesn't have to be literal to you. It can be, it can be really anything that you feel like fits with you in the car.
I'm gonna go funny.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus Party in the USA. You got
Okay.
blue and it's summertime.
Yeah.
You're wearing a red hat, so
There we go.
there we go.
I like that one.
All right.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for bringing the car out. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the show. All right. So that was Gentian Blue. I have to say, that is a really special shade of blue. And I think it's like once you see it under the lights, you see that little bit of flake in it, and it is it's pretty spectacular. So here we have yet another interesting green. So if you can, just give us a bit of an intro. Who are you and what's the color?
Mike Quinn, and the color is Fjord Green.
It's absolutely beautiful. What made you choose this color?
My wife chose it.
Your wife chose it.
Yeah.
What do you think made her choose this color?
So her 911 is aventurine green.
Okay.
And this is a Father's Day birthday present from her. So she went through the whole process. And I don't know why she chose it, but I think it's an absolutely amazing color.
It's a great shade. And again, I was saying to Grace that you see a lot of greens in what I would call the standard green shades, but I think it's great that we're now seeing a lot more unique greens that are out there, and this one is really an interesting shade. What role do you think color plays in the design of a car? How do you think color impacts the design?
It changes the character of the car.
Yeah.
Going from my wife's 911 to my 911, and we also have other cars.
Sure.
This one is it stands out more subtly.
Yeah.
Gets a lot more attention, but it does change the character. It doesn't look quite as fast. It just looks cool.
Yeah.
Whereas one of my other 911s, I have all other black cars. Mm-hmm. Those look like monsters. They look like a beefed out monster that's just ready to take control.
Yeah.
Same car, just different color.
No, I mean there's an understated elegance to it in the way that it presents. So I think that's really cool. So we're asking a couple of different questions about to get to know the owners. If you had to pick a non-living celebrity to drive across country with, they're non-automotive related, and they're going to do all of the driving in your car, who do you pick?
James Dean.
James Dean. Okay, that's a great answer. And then the second question, which we're not showing everybody else, is on that paper. Don't read it out loud, but give us your answer when you have a read. First one that jumps in the head, doesn't have to be literal.
Stairway to Heaven.
Okay, I like that. Stairway to Heaven's a good one. And actually, there's a lot of sensibility in that answer.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, really appreciate you bringing the car out, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, we've had a number of different cars come through. We've seen some awesome blues, some awesome greens. Polar silver in a 997, which apparently is one of one. Can't verify, but was a really interesting and unique shade. And so far some great colors that have turned out. We're still loading in a variety of different cars that are going to be coming through for the Paint to Sample show. So if you are in New York City, in Manhattan, close enough by, we're running from 10 to 1 today and showing some of the most interesting and unique Paint to Sample colors that are in Porsche's library. So for everybody who's joined in and listened, we appreciate you joining the broadcast, and stay tuned for some more video and images of our awesome Paint to Sample Porsche event here today.